I've wanted to play Uncharted 4 for almost 10 years. It's considered one of PlayStation's greatest ever games, one of Naughty Dog's masterpieces, and for years I'd heard people call it timeless. So when I finally sat down with it last week to play it in 2026, I really wasn't expecting my first thoughts to be, has this actually aged badly? Because for the first few hours, I genuinely wasn't convinced. By the time the credits rolled, I'd realised I really wasn't asking the right questions of this 10-year-old video gaming classic.
It's been a while.
Too long, boyo.
You remember my dead brother, right?
But for me, actually playing Uncharted 4 after all these years made me realise something. Some parts of games really do age, and some parts really don't.
It's like a compass arrow.
How did you know to do that?
Oh, there's one thing I've learned from you. Press everything.
The opening hours of Uncharted 4 really surprised me, and not really in the good way. The climbing feels so automatic, so dated, and lacking any real sense of tension, and most combat encounters devolve into simply waist-high cover arenas where you bob your head out and pop a few bullets. Platforming simply boiling down to finding the next yellow or white or whatever new colour paint they've chosen, and all of that leading to a feeling of automation. Back in 2016, this stuff was cinematic as you saw the vistas and jumped from one handhold to the other. In 2026, I found it a little bit boring. There are some exceptions to that and we'll come on to those in a minute. And I started to worry a little bit. Look, I'm the type of guy that just wants to love every game. I'm that kid at nursery who wants to, be loved by everyone and love everyone. So when there's a game that's widely regarded as being great, I want to feel that greatness too. And in the first few hours, I just got this sinking feeling. The sinking feeling that maybe I'd missed the boat. Maybe this was just another game that I'd built up in my head over the last decade. Maybe nostalgia had done what nostalgia always seems to do, made something seem better than it really was. But then these incredible characters started talking.
Looks good.
So, how was your day?
What?
Hmm?
Got none of that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. How was your day?
Oh, it was fine.
Nathan, Elena, Sully, even Sam. Despite me still, after all these years not loving the retcon, every conversation felt so natural, so emotional, so very, very real. And in terms of Nathan's overall arc as a human being and as a man, extremely relatable.
And no more late-night phone calls about one last time.
Promise. Thanks, Sully.
Nobody here sounds like they're delivering video game dialogue. And say what you want about Neil Druckmann, if there's one thing he's very good at, is getting the core human emotion over to the player in a video game format.
Thanks for saving me. Again.
I almost didn't this time.
Right.
The biggest compliment you can give this timeless dialogue in Uncharted 4 is that there are so many conversations and so many scenes where they simply talk and you just can't stop listening. You can't stop watching. You can't stop looking at the discrete emotions told via the shifting glares of the characters, the subtle shifts in the feet, the way they look away from the person they're talking to and then catch their gaze again.
I just kind of thought that after we found Avery's treasure, I'd be satisfied. Instead, I've kind of left with this strange feeling of
Emptiness.
yeah.
There's such a confidence to Naughty Dog's writing. It isn't desperate to entertain you every 30 seconds. It's brilliant at just letting its characters exist. And to Naughty Dog's credit, that is even more engaging than the incredible set pieces and explosions that they have plenty of here. Playing Uncharted 4 10 years after the release, 10 years after all the hype, it really made me realise and appreciate how well or how badly a game can age, and how that can be inside the same game all at the same time. Technology moves incredibly fast, especially in the gaming world. Graphics improve, animations improve, combat evolves, game design philosophy changes, but the human condition and human relationships, they do not change. A great, meaningful and emotional conversation in 2016 is still a great, meaningful and emotional conversation in 2026.
I'm thinking that you're lucky that I found you when I did.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't lose a limb or anything. It would have been a royal pain getting you out of here.
The feelings of wanting to reconnect with your swashbuckling past, an in-joke between friends, a heartfelt goodbye, all those things are timeless. And having the quality and narrative chops to implement that in a video game and make it still relatable 10 years on due to the cutting-edge visuals, industry-leading facial animation, and superb voice acting tells you everything you need to know about the creative quality at Naughty Dog. Now don't get me wrong, there are parts of this game I really did find a bit by the numbers. A bit, I wish I could just skip this. But even those parts, when they mix them with the cinematic set pieces, they are still, to this day, industry and genre leading. That chase scene, which I've seen many times in clips, was still incredible 10 years on, and I think easily the best chase scene ever in a video game. Leave a comment if there's a better one that I need to experience.
Time to bail.
Even the platforming sections, which I derided earlier on, when they are mixed in with these cinematic moments, they are incredible. But for the most part, the combat and the platforming for me hasn't aged well at all. And that's not a knock on Uncharted 4, I'm sure 10 years ago it's incredible, and I'm sure a lot of people still get a lot of entertainment out of the combat and platforming. But like I said earlier, the gameplay has evolved, the technology hasn't stopped moving, and every generation has raised the bar. But the great writing, great performances, characters, they don't just become obsolete. They are genuinely timeless here, and maybe that's why 10 years later I won't remember every gunfight, but I sure as well will remember the people, the conversations, and that incredible emotional send-off that was the ending.
Time out. You're saying that you were attacked by pirates after you found the coffin of Sir Francis Drake. Is that right?
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much
right.
it. Yeah.
This story here is one of obsession, and obsession can mean many things to many people. Nathan is both obsessed with recapturing the glory of the past, also obsessed with Alina, the life he could have with her. Sam is obsessed with fulfillment. Sully is obsessed with protecting the family he's got to know very well. Nadine is driven by pride. Rapper doesn't simply want treasure, he wants to be remembered. Even Avery and Tor, they were both chasing legacy and chasing gold in the end. Everyone in Uncharted 4 is searching for something they can't let go of, and boy isn't that a human trait. When you're younger, adventure feels like freedom. As you age, fulfillment starts to look very different. Nathan already had his happy ending. He has a loving wife, a beautiful home, a peaceful life, yet part of him still longs for the excitement of who he used to be. And I think that's a really honest observation about growing older. As I reach my mid-40s, dare I say it, even I, who am now settled down with a loving partner, having a great life, who has managed to travel the world with her and see almost everything there is to see on this planet, still, a little bit of me has a little tinge for those party days with the mates, those fun nights at music festivals. Many of us spend years chasing stability, only to occasionally miss the chaos that came before it. Which brings me to the brilliant Elena. For me, she really is the emotional heart of Uncharted. Again, the facial animation, voice acting does so much great work here. Their relationship feels incredibly mature. There's no melodrama, no necessary shouting. She understands Nathan, and she's with him, flaws and all. Just two people trying to understand one another, and that's just life. And like all Uncharted games, there's hope for a utopia, his own obsession. I love the fact that in Uncharted you're piecing together two stories at once. That story about the treasure you're chasing, and the story about Nathan and whatever mess he's involved in. And then comes what I think is the game's most beautiful moment, and it's right at the end. It's that moment where Nathan and Elena realise that all the obsessions they had, all the obsessions that consumed you, all the obsessions you managed to get rid of, that just might pass on to your children.
Maybe we should just tell her.
She's not ready for it.
It goes to show that that spark never truly disappears. It may, if you're unlucky, simply change hands. And I absolutely love that ending. Not just because it's bittersweet, but because it's hopeful. I'd like to think we live on through our children. And it suggests that growing older doesn't mean abandoning who you once were, it simply means passing it on to someone else to carry the torch. So has Uncharted 4 aged well? For me, gameplay wise, not really, and that's not a knock, it's still fun, but the automated platforming, the repetitive combat, the limited enemy variety, those aspects totally show their age. But the writing, the performances, the emotional intelligence, the direction, the pacing, the relationships, that ending, those haven't aged at all, and they are quite simply timeless. And that's me done. I mean, I could talk about so many individual conversations, individual moments in this game, but I guess I'll just let the gameplay clips do that. Thank you so much, peace, take care, and stay cool in this heat, everybody.